Hi, everyone. My name is Matt. I'm the youth and family pastor at Cornerstone Church in Marshfield. I'm here today with the Cornerstone Connection, a daily devotional. So I have a question for you. If somebody came up to you on the street, or maybe you met them in the grocery store, or maybe you're a student and you meet them in the hallway, and for some reason they came to you and they said, "What is faith?" What would you say? What would you say? Well, fortunately for us, the Bible gives us a clear definition. All we have to do is go to Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1, and the writer of Hebrews says, "Now faith is the assurance of things hoped for. It is the conviction of things not seen." It is the assurance of things hoped for. It is the conviction of things not seen. Now that's a beautiful definition for the word faith, and is a true and good definition. But let's keep talking about what faith is. And the Apostle James, in his letter, chapter 2, he talks about in verse 17, he says, "So also faith by itself," this belief, this assurance, this conviction, if it does not have works, if it doesn't have action, if there's no fruit that follows the belief, he says it's dead. So faith by itself, if it does not have works, if it doesn't have action, if it doesn't have fruit coming from it, it is dead. Okay, so that might help us out a little bit. So faith is the assurance of things hoped for. It is the conviction of what is not yet seen. Faith must be accompanied by action and by works in order to actually be faith. But we still might ask, well, what does faith look like? Well, fortunately for us today, 2 Kings chapter 4, verses 1 through 7 gives us a beautiful story and a great picture of exactly what faith looks like. So if you join me there, we're going to enter into a story that I will call today a story of faith. Here's what it says. "Now the wife of one of the sons of the prophets cried to Elisha, who had been the prophet of God at this time, 'Your servant, my husband, is dead. And you know that your servant feared the Lord, but the creditor has come to take my 2 children to be his slaves.'" This is a bad situation. "And Elisha the prophet said to her, 'What shall I do for you? Tell me, what have you in the house?' And she said, 'Your servant has nothing in the house except a jar of oil.' Then he said, 'Go outside, borrow vessels from all your neighbors, empty vessels, and not too few. Then go in, shut the door behind yourself and your sons, and pour into all these vessels. And when one is full, set it aside.'" You imagine that? Believe, lady. Go and get all these empty vessels. Don't go to your neighbors and get vessels that are full of oil so you can pay off the person that you're in debt to. No. He says, go get empty vessels. Can you imagine how much faith it would take to actually listen to this instruction? Verse 5. "So she went from him, Elisha, and shut the door behind herself and her sons. And as she poured, they brought the vessels to her. When the vessels were full, she said to her son, 'Bring another vessel.' And he said to her, 'There is not another.' Then the oil stopped flowing." Verse 7, "She came and she told the man of God, that being Elisha, and he said, 'Go, sell the oil and pay your debts, and you and your sons can live on the rest.'" What an incredible story. What an incredible scene. But more than that, what incredible faith that this woman had. And the man of God says, "Okay, you have 1 jar of oil and you need to pay all of this debt." And he says, "Go and find all these empty vessels and just start pouring that oil out of the 1 jar that you have into these vessels." And the oil just keeps coming and it keeps coming and it keeps filling, and another empty vessel and another full vessel, another empty vessel, then another full vessel. And why did this happen? Because God recognized the faith of this woman. He recognized that she didn't just say, "Okay, I believe you, man of God." No, she put her faith into action. What he said, she did. You see, she showed her faith by her works. She showed the assurance she had in God and the conviction she had of things she could not yet see by actually going and getting those empty vessels. And God was so gracious. Not only did he give her everything that she needed, but he granted her even more. Did you notice at the end of verse 7, "Go sell the oil and pay your debts, and you and your sons can live on the rest." There was above and beyond what she even needed. And isn't that how God honors faith? And friends, what an encouragement to us today. What a challenge for us today, that when we have opportunities to lay our trust on God and allow him to come through where we just cannot. He is so faithful, and he comes through. And he comes through above and beyond, oftentimes, what we ever need. What an incredible God we serve. Have a great day, friends. We'll see you next time on the Cornerstone Connection.